Hello and welcome to Pixel Peepers, a podcast for anyone building a personal brand or a business and interested in video. We speak to people doing just that and using video, business owners and all sorts of entrepreneurs and startups.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so we're kicking off with episode 1 and Dean Yeo today. So we welcome Dean. Thanks for coming in, Dean.
Thank you very much.
Dean is a broker and is absolutely smashing the game in the real estate industry and has been making videos for a number of years. You're going to hear a little bit about his process and why he sticks with it.
Now, Dean, we've known each other for many years. Thanks for coming in today, mate.
We have.
And basically, mate, we've asked you to be on episode 1 because
Thank you. I feel honoured.
Yeah, well, mate,
you're happy to make the mistakes first.
I continue to make them.
Well, every day on my newsfeed on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, your face pops up every time. So you're doing consistent video, mate. But look, before we get into that, just a bit of your backstory, mate.
I think having a crack as far as video is concerned, that I did have an interest in photography in early days, but never picked it up. The very short story to that is I flunked out of school, said, I love photography, went down to this photography college, walked in with my parents at 17 years of age. The guy turned around and said, that's nice. He said, piss off and get some life into you and then come back and see us.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, what? Anyway, so I went back and finished school and did uni and did phys ed and all the rest. So it never ended up coming up. So it's raised its head again as far as the creativity. And I think video is a natural progression to that. And I don't mind being in front of the camera. It's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's purely, I'm very curious. I really enjoy, interviewing people. I keep production very minimal because it's trying to keep it raw.
Yeah. Did you, over the years, then keep that interest in that mix of creativity / technical?
Yeah, well, I've always been in sales, but we had our own import business for 7 odd years, and I was the creative part behind that. So we had 500 retailers nationally that we imported, basically like a European version of Hello Kitty. It was little stationery and novelty lines, like what Smiggle is. But we had the European version. There was a mouse with big feet and it was character based. So my job was production. My job was getting that out to the stores and merchandising and all the rest. So that sort of played to that. And I think now more and more, I'm just still curious as far as why, how do you do that? Why do you do that?
Yeah.
And I think that I put a cap on now when I go, well, who are you? What do you do? And why should I care? And that cuts through a lot of the
bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, mate, so did you go back and actually get some life skills and go back and do some photography or videography?
No. Well, I'd been in real estate full time since 2009, so just on 10 years. But one of my first things I did was went out and bought a fantastic Canon camera because even when I went out in this stage, when I went out and I took photos myself because I already then had them, even if the person didn't get into the production of it, already had photos of that area. And also, I ran professionals at New Farm, and like the brochure that we put together of that, we used to do quarterly stuff that goes out. It was all the photos I took of the area, as far as you call it, B-roll. So it was all of that. It was all mine. It was all mine. So, but it was just because I enjoyed it. So
cool.
I can't say I was particularly good, but I was just having a crack. So that's it. That's my life, having a crack.
So how does it fit into what you're doing now, mate? So you
know, like, trust.
Okay. Right.
So they can get to know and like me in a virtual world. That's, if I look at it as far as, so I'm a broker, I sell real estate businesses. That's what I do. And that side of it is they'll see me, and I think people are on their phones. We actually have a bit of a problem with our phones, I think, as far as, spending too much in addiction. And they're very clever in the way of which they have apps and all the rest of drawing us back to it. But I've done it deliberately of I don't want to be just entertaining. I want to also be educating. And also I get in front of people that a lot of people don't get in front of. The interview for Console, which is probably one of the largest software developing companies that head office is based here. I interviewed him yesterday, and that took a couple of months to organise, but others won't get to that and won't get in front of those sort of people, and I want to share that back. So it's sort of a behind the scenes, what's happening in the industry, and I'm also curious where we're going. And there's some very smart people in there. These guys, Console, backed by Macquarie Bank, they've got a bucket load of money behind them. They're in that prop tech sort of space. What's going on? So we sort of try and help
So the videos that I guess you're making now, with the format that you generally have yourself and your subjects on camera with you, can you tell us a bit about how that's developed over the last year, two or beyond? Like, how have you arrived on the type of videos you're making now?
I didn't want to do it via Zoom or some of those. I just felt that the face-to-face was an important piece because the bit that people don't see is it might only take us 10 minutes to do the actual segments, but I probably could spend sometimes an hour prior to that, what I call peeling the onion, going through, and talking to them and go, no, that's a lot of fluff. No, I wouldn't listen to that.
You get to the meat, mate.
That's crap. You know, and then you'll talk to someone and, like I'll sit here and talk to you and all of a sudden you'll turn around and go, and I can just see it lights you up and I go, tell me more about that. And then I'll jot down, and it purely is, I'll jot down a question that leads in and they will answer. So it's not about me at all. Like Shea, if I talk to Shea about drumming, like, let me tell you about drumming, get into it. Well,
enough already, Shea. Come on.
I've actually learned, Nick, this guy was actually a brilliant BMXer.
Really?
Yeah. So from stuff you see online, some of his videos.
Yeah, wicked.
Right? As a kid growing up, you're awesome at BMXing, weren't you?
Second in the world.
Second in the world, there you go.
Awesome. Sponsored out of the US, but that was a previous life.
But even with that, I got to learn a little bit about you growing up and your childhood. So if for someone who doesn't know you at all, you get this backstory of what you're about, and that's where probably that trust comes into as well. It's like, okay, I feel like I've kind of known this guy through his decades of being on this planet.
And that's why I think that so where do we get to go back to your question as far as I started that because it was a selfish thing. I wanted to get in front of these people.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That was the start of it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to do it any other way than a video face-to-face.
Gotcha.
I then said there was, and I have to take my hat off to Shea. Shea helped me with make sure you look down the camera, make sure you do some of this, make sure you relax, take your hands out of your pockets, I don't realise I'm doing it. Yeah. But I do it all the time with people now because I don't want them to look like Gumbies on camera. And most of them, many of them are very successful people.
Yeah.
They're just so nervous when it comes to camera. I'm like, hey, it's just a chat, you and I. It just happens to be the cameras in our face. But it's not about that. It's about you and I. And I think because you spend that potentially up to an hour or half an hour before, you've broken down, you've got to know, you've listened to where they're at. And it's not a matter, so you get a bit deeper, I think, with it, and you get a better conversation.
Right.
So then keep it really simple, put it on camera, do it headshot between the two, because I don't have production to do it on two cameras.
Yep.
I just do it basically on the one.
Yeah.
And try to keep it really simple.
Yep.
I then will only cut a little bit, front and back of it.
Yep.
I don't edit throughout it. I throw some banners top and bottom.
Yeah.
It's really simple stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's keeping it that way.
Yeah.
And I've seen, the videos in length, they're generally, they are relatively short. If you're spending, how long do you generally record with someone? You might be spending half an hour chatting with them, but how long are you actually hitting record on the camera?
10 minutes.
So really quick.
Yeah.
But in that time, it looks like you're getting multiple content potentially for multiple videos. Was that always a conscious decision?
Well, what I do is it's classified as 5 tips in 5 days.
Right.
So I'll sit with you.
Yeah.
We'll produce one after the other.
Yeah.
And we'll do 5 bits of content, and I'll push out one of them each day. So you'll be my guest from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Separately to that, I talk the weekend edition. It's a weekend edition where we can relax and talk a little bit more about it, and we just might ramble a bit. Now, I've had, from a conversation with somebody else today, I'm up on, so Property TV is an actual production, and I've got the Dean Yeo show that's Tuesdays at 11 o'clock.
Jeez, so that was meant to be the Dean Yeo show.
Well, that's what they called it. So I've got production, that goes, that I use some of my other material at my weekend, get it across there, because they want something that's a bit longer. They want something 3-4 minutes. They want something with a bit more meat in it, where I have that ability to be able to ask a lead-in sort of question, and then where's it going to go? Because I can't control it. I have the funniest thing. So Ben Snowden, who is the state manager for News Limited for real estate here, I met with him last week in News Limited, and there's 400 journalists in this building, and I'm interviewing this guy, and I'm going, I'm no journalist. I'm just curious. So I'm videoing him.
Yep.
I'm confirming videoing him in another week down there, and he said, "Oh, well, you go downstairs and use the studio." I went, way too much.
Yeah,
let's stand out in front. We'll do it here. And I've done a screenshot for him and sent it back. There's where out the front end it shows, news limit in the middle.
Cracking.
Let's just keep it that simple.
Yeah.
Well, we were saying just off camera before, you've got this knack of just asking. You've got the ability and to people that are experts that know more than you about things. And how many people say no to what
I've had 2 that have ever said no.
And you're doing it for how long now? 2-3 years?
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And one of them said,
that's not a bad strike rate.
My agent won't, and I went, mate, you're not that important. I don't care. I'll go to the next one, whatever.
Well, that's not a bad thing too, because you kind of weed out, maybe it's not worth, that conversation's not meant to happen.
They're a little bit up themselves. So at the end of the day, but so to go back to you, so I think majority of people want to consume stuff.
Yeah.
And some talk about, if you... Skippable Labs, which is a side business within Google itself, and they have a company called Unskippable Labs, I think it's called, and they just go in and watch all the videos and find out what's going on, who's listening to what are they looking for, and you can learn lots from some of that. But if you do sort of, I reckon, 60 to 90 seconds, that's probably a sweet spot. Don't fluff it up with who they are, blah, blah, blah. They can see that when they click on, if they want to look at who the person is. It's more about, who are you? What do you do? Why should I care?
And
good. Keeping it that way, I think, just really works. And how does it really work? Well, I know it really works because I go to events and people come up to me all the time and go, I love your videos. You're in my feed all the time. But I actually really enjoy it because there's some good stuff to it. But it's not too long. See, then on the weekend, if they sit down to it, they don't mind on the weekend to then go, you know what, I can consume. I'm not just flick. And what happens is I end up being in that as well.
So do you have people coming up to you, you don't know them from a bar of soap, but they feel like they really know you from the consistent content that you're pumping out?
Correct.
Okay. All right, and that must feel good.
I don't. Well, some people will turn around and say, "Well, what are you doing to monetize it?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Nothing at the moment," and that's okay. In a way, I'm scratching an itch. I'm sharing back. What I have used, and I used with a number of the videos that I did with you in early days, it's a one-to-many. And I'll give you a prime example of that. You and I can sit here and I can have this chat and you can ask me about, how do I value my rent roll? Great. So I can then put that on video and then I can go one-to-many. I've done it with Macquarie Bank as far as, how do you guys, they talk about the 3 C's of when they take someone on as far as business. Oh, what's that? That's about 5-6 minutes. That's on my LinkedIn. And I push that to someone. If you're about to go over the bank, listen to this. And that's a real education piece. I know, for an example, product usage, that doing videos of how the actual product works is a huge piece. And so many people are like, oh, I'm going to get it home, but how do I actually, like, we've got a new cooktop, convection cooktop and whatever. And it's like, well, let's have a look at this. But there's companies out there that's a huge amount, and there's no reason why you can't do that education piece. And if you do it once and do it properly, and then it can roll into many.
It lives
I
on.
put it in the bottom of every one of my things that go out to videos. It goes out to say, hey, if you are looking to make an offer, watch this. And then they go, oh, well, I should talk to my accountant first, and I should do this, and I haven't done that. And that's something. Then it leveraged my time.
So you go, man.
No, I was going to say, so it seems to me like you've got kind of 2 types of content working for you in different ways. You've got the content that is that real educational perspective from you and your skill set, stuff that can be hosted somewhere, and as long as it's relevant, right? As long as it's current. So you then got a huge amount of content, getting your guests and splitting that into that weekly kind of bite-sized chunks from their skill set and their perspectives. What do you think the benefit is in doing it that way versus just speaking with just being on camera yourself and giving your value? What do you think works so well, and why are you so interested to keep mixing up the content that way?
Selfishly, I learn more.
I
learn more because I get in front of people that I help to give them an audience as well. I also get probably better exposure because if they're interested and they're happy with it. See, when I do, this is how simple it is. Like yesterday when I caught up with the CEO, I finished this. I see you've got an iPhone. Okay, well, let's airdrop. Bang. There's the content.
Fantastic.
So he's got the content straight away.
Yeah.
He can then give that to marketing if they want to use it, which they do.
Yeah.
Because them getting content out of him is virtually non-existent.
Yeah.
So who goes with it?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
How's it going to be? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine.
That's fantastic.
So you got a really simple post-production process there as well.
Sorry,
to get
guys.
to market.
I do. But yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
But it really does.
Yep.
So to answer your question, why do you mix it up? I think it's important that you've got to realise production of it is producing it is only 50%. Distribution is the other 50%.
Yeah.
And very few are any good, and including me, are any good at that. If you have a look at my YouTube page as an example, you know, I got 69 subscribers. And like, woohoo, you know. And you know, a lot of the videos have been watched one time. So if all you were doing was based on that, you'd be like, well, why the hell are you doing it?
Yeah.
Now I get more in the space as far as from LinkedIn because the organic reach at present is really good.
Yeah.
And I push it onto Facebook because others have asked me to, because I was just like, Facebook, whatever. I'm not going to spend any money on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are people that see that. And I think, well, if I've already done it, I've already produced it, it only takes me another couple of minutes to push it up there as well. Now, I don't do different content for each one. I just do the one across. That was a choice.
Yeah.
But the reason for somebody else, Jane Anderson, who is she is a LinkedIn expert based up here in Brisbane. And one of her key areas that she used to work on initially was doctors, lawyers, professional people, and helping them get their LinkedIn profile up and helping them be better in that space.
Yep.
I interviewed her and we did it up on New Farm with the Brisbane, Story Bridge in the background. It was great. And she said to me, hey, you really should do some more just you to camera. And it's like, yeah, I should. But at the present time, I don't do as much. I still seem to, I interject when I'm with people. And the majority of the time I've actually set that up, which people don't know, and that's okay.
Yes.
But I've set it up because I know the sort of stuff that I'm trying to, and I can see what they're excited about.
Yeah.
But it's working. I'm getting interest from people. People are watching it. I haven't monetized it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much, and I'm connected. Yeah. I'm very well connected.
Mate, do you find your job as a broker is easier because of you doing video? Do you feel the trust is there? If you're talking one-on-one?
You know what? I don't think a lot of people that are at that stage that are my customers are actually watching it. There's a lot of others in the industry.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
interesting.
It hasn't actually... It probably has worked in the sense that sometimes, I quite often, I may, like Innisfail, Cairns, I might sell businesses where I'll never meet the buyer nor the seller.
Yep.
So I don't do that. But with the video stuff that I've pushed out, that gives them... I sort of know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
Because the trust is the biggest piece to it. They're handing over a key or they're handing over their business to either manage or whatever, in that real estate space. And that's why I'm dumbfounded with real estate agents that don't get on video. If they can get over the scaredness, if they can get over, I won't say they're all ego-driven, but, I don't look good on camera. Well, but when you go out and meet someone, you're not on camera, but you're on show. What's the difference?
Well, from a consumer perspective, it's a massive transaction. So why would I trust you to sell my house or, and vice versa?
Those that are doing it well, there are very few and far between. Yeah. And here in Australia, there's probably a bit more in America. But I think in America, we're, we got the tall poppy syndrome here, that as far as if you get up there, then somebody's going to cut you down. Well, get over it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
And the more you get in with what the community is, there's some great agents out there that are doing really good stuff with the football club and the this and the that.
Yeah.
Just get down there with a camera and have a chat about it. And let that roll. And it's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're just spinning it. But it's real life stuff that is what is actually happening.
100%. And so when you're making videos...
Keep us back on track, please.
That was a great segue. So making your videos now, put it into context for people, how long are you spending actually in creating the video now versus, let's say, a year or two ago when you first started? Has that changed much?
No.
It's always been quick for you?
Yeah. Well, but I've always deliberately said I'm not going to learn a lot about this. I'm not going to do a lot of B-roll. I'm not going to do audio separate to video.
Yeah.
I'm all about keeping it on my phone. I'm all about keeping it really, really simple because because I'm not making money from it currently.
Yeah.
I'm not, I put an hour in, I get $1 back.
Yeah.
And my wife sometimes says to me, like, where are you going with this? Now, I don't have the production and all of the toys. I'd love to, but it's not, and my kids would, but from that side, I've even got the new DJI
Ronin,
3 gimbal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
I still haven't got to use it properly. My son's played with it, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've still kept it on on that sort of format.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to learn new stuff. That's fine. But what I didn't want to do was I didn't want to get so far out of whack that that's not what it was about.
Yeah. So it's quite, sorry to just finish off. So it was quite it was quick for you then to get that habit of tripod, camera, microphones, film, done.
And none of it's changed.
Yeah,
I just continue. What's changed is the people that are on.
Yeah.
What has changed is maybe my ability to interview them beforehand.
Yeah.
As far as that I unpack them a bit. I wouldn't say quicker.
Yeah.
But I get to the meat, probably quicker. And then separately, as far as helping them relax.
Yeah.
Get on camera.
Yeah.
Another lady, Amanda Stevens, who won Professional Speaker of the Year in 2018. I asked her, I've interviewed her, I've gone to Noosa and interviewed her at her home, and she's written like 6 books. And we talked about that. And I said, so what is if there's one tip you could have? She goes, smile until you're uncomfortable smiling. And then you've probably smiled enough. So I try to always get people to smile, start with a smile, finish with a smile, because we get so entrenched that, am I doing it right? I've got that. I've said the right words. Oh shit, I forgot to smile. Hi, whereas if you just crack something in it, it just lightens the whole thing, and it shows they're more human.
Yeah.
So getting a number of, because it's quite successful and there's quite some very well-to-do sort of people.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, let's loosen it up here.
Yeah.
Well, if you smile, generally people smile back at you on the other end of the phone or the laptop. So that energy gets transferred through devices.
Yeah.
So it's not hard, is it?
You've been very good at that stuff.
Oh, mate. Well, it's
well, he learned. He taught me a lot of some of the early stuff as far as I would say something in real estate spiel, and you could see him on the other end going, I have no freaking idea what you just talked about. But I don't believe you because I don't think you're right in. You need to breathe, you need to do this. And it was like, right, okay. Because you do get so in your head.
Yeah.
And that's probably the piece that I've learned the most.
So when we started doing this, probably about
5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah. And we talked about this a lot, is being professional is very quickly becoming unprofessional. The person you are between 9 to 5 or whatever at work is the same person you go home to your kids and your wife too. So don't lie to people. Don't try and bullshit people about.
It was just like, but you felt like you needed to be like my early ones. We're in a suit, I'm in a tie, and everything was done, properly.
Yeah.
Now I will, when I go out to see someone, I'll have this or a shirt, or sometimes I'll have 2 different shirts. Shay and I decided we were going to do some videos, and he rocks up and walked in, and we're both wearing
same
blue
shirt, same
t-shirts.
What
we call
it? B1,
B2.
Nice.
But it wasn't deliberate. We got the same emo,
Was that like one of the first line of videos that you did? Because we literally sat down for half an hour and we pumped out 5 value vids on what to do with video. Yeah. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Have you consistently done it for 2 years? Have you missed a week?
No.
You've never missed a week. I find that really cool.
Even when I was in Austria.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in Austria for 4 weeks over Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's a different time frame.
Yeah.
But still produced. Because what I did was I went to Melbourne for a week for my son's a volleyball tournament, a national volleyball tournament. So I interviewed the head of realestate.com, the head of First National, head of Jellis Craig, Barry Plant. I reached out to all these guys before I came.
Yeah.
Said, I'm here, this is what I'm doing, here's a couple of what I've done. I really like to interview.
I've seen him in action, Nico. He's ruthless. That's awesome. Some like walking up to a celebrity or something, Dean just does it.
That's
and goes,
great.
hey, can I get you a quick interview? And they're like, yeah, sure. So it's
but I keep it simple and it's not about me. It's about them. And I also don't promise anything. Like I'm not about to say, hey, you're going to be seen by it. It's like, you know what? I just like to share. I think you've got some cool stuff to say. Can we put it on camera?
That's awesome.
And that's kind of what people can't say no to that in a way, can they?
Well, why would you? Absolutely. You know, so how far in advance do you go with batching your videos? You know, are you a week ahead, 2 weeks ahead?
4 to 6.
That's great.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll see one person and then I've got it for a week. But I'm a little light on at the moment. I'm probably about 4 weeks. But I could be 4 to 7.
You're not heading to Austria anytime soon, you know?
No.
Like that. Okay.
It's good. You have the flexibility if something happens or you do get super busy. Well, you've got something in the library.
But they're all done. They're all done. A majority of the time it's up by 6.
Dean, thanks for coming in today, mate. We've learnt heaps of good stuff on creating video on a consistent basis, and also just go out there and ask someone if they want to, be in front of the camera, because if they know something more than what you do, then it's going to be of value to an audience. So thanks for coming in today, mates. Guys, don't forget to subscribe wherever you are, and we will see you for episode 2 very soon.